Hi everybody, I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to just say thank you for all the interest in our last videos. It has been overwhelming and very encouraging and very informative. So keep those comments coming. Thank you so much. Now in this episode, we've actually been waiting to do this for quite some time. Vinny has had this idea for months and he's really been wanting to get it accomplished and we just haven't had the time. So I'm going to now give you to Vinny and he's going to explain this new contest he's got.
Hey everybody, hope you've been doing well. I've been wanting to do this contest for a while. It's called Name That Sailboat. And here are the rules. I'm going to show you 14 sailboats. Whoever can name the most amount of sailboats accurately wins the prize. What are the rules? As long as you can accurately name the maker of the sailboat, such as Island Packet or Pearson or Irwin, then that credit will be given to you. But you don't have to be exact as far as the length. For instance, say it's an Island Packet 38, and you look at it and you say, oh, that's an Island Packet 35. I'll still give you the credit for that. And what's the prize? Well, that's a surprise. Here we go. Here's sailboat number 1. Our first boat is a very beautiful boat. To me, it looks very salty.
So funny you like to say a boat is salty. What is salty about this boat? What do you consider that makes it salty?
Well, to me, a boat is salty if it looks like you can imagine it from the days of old out into the ocean, as opposed to some of these fiberglass, all no wood boats, which they're great boats and I'm sure very functional boats. But to me, the idea of a salty boat is something that kind of brings me back to the romance of the days of old sailing, and that's why this boat, to me, seems so salty. Now here is a very beautiful boat. You know, the hulls that are blue seem very nautical. And I was wondering, what is the benefit of a blue hull versus a white hull? I read, and I don't know if it's right, what do you think? Please comment, that white hulls reflect sunlight, which means that a blue hull can make a boat a little hot, especially in the tropics.
That is a beautiful boat.
Here's a very interesting boat. What do you think this one, Amy?
Well, it's got that white fiberglass, which means it's going to be cooler in the Caribbean. I don't think it qualifies as salty, but it looks like it's very comfortable with the center cockpit.
Yes, that's right. I also heard there's a very, very beautiful co-skipper and a very wise captain as well on that boat.
Okay, so here is what I think you would consider, Vinny, a very salty boat. You would love this boat, right?
I would. That looks so nautical and so salty. But here's the thing, folks. With these older boats, to keep them up to modern standards, it requires a lot of money. A lot more money than you would think or imagine. So yes, these boats from the 70s and 80s are gorgeous. They don't even make boats like these anymore. But to keep them up to date, yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. And it's hard to find ones that are already fully equipped. Now this is a weird stern, but I can't imagine like going overboard and trying to get up on this boat, and I can't because, oh, there's no swim platform. It looks a little odd.
Here's another boat, Vinny, that I think you would consider salty.
Yes, it really is a very beautiful boat. And I can just tell by the length of it that it definitely is going to cost some money to keep this thing up and running because it really is an older boat. Doesn't make it not good, but you know what? Some of these older boats are big and beautiful, but they are not necessarily practical.
Here's a unique boat, really beautiful. So do you have a hint, Vinny, for our viewers?
Yes, I do want to say this. Number one, it is a boat made in England. Number two, it's a limited production boat. And number three, the owner of this boat told me it is 30,000 pounds of weight. How does that relate to our boat? Well, our boat is 11,000 pounds. And even a West Sail, which is considered a very heavy boat, is like 24,000 pounds. This is a very, very heavy British boat. Hope you guys can guess what it might be.
Here's a boat with a center cockpit. You really like those center cockpit boats, but it looks much more narrow and more sleek.
Yes, these boats that have a smaller beam are really much better in the ocean, and I love center cockpit boats because they afford a rear stateroom. And you know what? Most boats are just like a big triangle. Every boat is a compromise. But I happen to like the boats that have an actual bedroom that you can shut the door. It just makes it feel more cozy and more homey. I love center cockpit boats. Now, this boat, hard to tell, but it is gigantic. I could not believe how big it is. This sailboat is like the size of a trawler, and yet it is a true sailboat. And so I got a little closer to take a look, and I was kind of amazed. I never saw a sailboat so gigantic. Very, very large sailboat. I didn't even know they made them this big. Can any of you guess which sailboat it might be?
Oh, this is beautiful woodwork. So I'm going to assume that this is very salty to you then, and you would love this boat.
But look at all the wires. I mean, we are in the modern age, and so I guess you have to have the wires and the electrical things to be able to function nowadays.
Yeah, one thing I like about these old salty boats, Vinny, is the woodwork on them is just beautiful. It has a lot of character.
It does, but you know, again, I hate to be a killjoy, but these boats, you know, they're very old, and they're hard to find ones that are in good condition. And if you do find one, it takes a tremendous amount of time and money to bring these boats up to speed, because many of these boats are, you know, 40, 50 years old, and that takes a lot of money to make them seaworthy.
This looks like a very sleek, modern, well-equipped boat.
Yes, it does, but the only thing I don't like is it's got the teak decks. And the teak decks, you know, require a lot of maintenance. Our last boat is a really cute little boat. I mean, it looks small, but it looks very, very simple and looks very seaworthy, doesn't it? But look at that rudder. That's a great rudder, because if anything breaks down in the steering, you can always just set up your emergency tiller and you've got a good strong rudder. This boat looks really salty to me and really nice. So imagine this boat without that hard top, and maybe it'll give you an idea of what boat that might be. Well, those are the boats. So good luck to all of you who want to enter the contest.